That is honestly very quick. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm sitting here with a brand new Redcat Racing Terremoto 10 V2. This is not my RC truck, guys. This is the STIG's. He asked me to make a recommendation for him for a cheap electric brushless truck with four-wheel drive that was feature-packed and budget-friendly. He loves this truck so much that he doesn't even leave its side when he's barbecuing. Check out some of this footage I got of him. He was grilling up some sausage and holding this on his shoulder while wearing his motorcycle helmet. I mean, this guy is nuts. Maybe this is a cool RC, I don't know. He told me the name of this car, the word Terremoto, translated in Portuguese, means earthquake is coming. That is highly possible. We're going to drive in a little bit. You don't need anything at all with this RC. So it has a basic 2.4 gigahertz Redcat Racing style remote, which is pretty normal. These are actually okay. It has a battery right over here with a Dean's plug, very important. So this uses pretty much industry standard electronics. This has a 3000 kV 540 brushless motor, nice looking red can with a 60 amp 2 to 3S capable brushless ESC. Really nice power system all around here, which is honestly what you expect. It's pretty much industry standard. One can't deny this is a really good looking truck. In terms of scale and size, this is marketed as a 10 scale. Right over here it says 1/10 scale electric monster truck. Yeah, I gotta say I do agree it is fairly large. The wheels are a really good size, honestly. They're a little larger than the Traxxas Rustler 4x4 VXL wheels. And for the money, this was about $220 at the time of purchase. It seems that they are on a clearance now. If you check the Redcat Racing website, I have seen these go for up to about $340 sometimes. So that is really good for the STIG. He was the buyer of this. This is not mine once again. And he wanted to save some money because, you know, he does spend a lot of money on his motorcycle upgrades and sausages that he likes to grill once in a while.
And I am the new millennium for the World Wrestling Federation.
Let's take a closer look at the chassis, see some of the features this has to offer. Now, I'll tell you this, I have bought Redcat products before, and they are known to make extremely weird and yet unique engineering decisions. Doesn't mean it's good, doesn't mean it's bad, it's just different from pretty much every other hobby-grade RC I have seen. So let's see what they did on this one, right? It has the split dual layer chassis. The bottom part is extremely soft and flexible. It is made of plastic. It has a metal motor mounting plate. We could see the red can motor. On top we have a full solid, really interesting and yet I gotta say kind of weird looking chassis. It seems fairly rigid. To me the bottom is probably just for kind of like skid plate purposes. So it does the job. It is fairly smooth on the bottom. I don't see anything here that's really gonna catch. That is good. Honestly, always the chassis is metal on the bottom. And that tends to scratch a lot and also very expensive to replace. Notice the suspension on this thing. This is absolutely factory stock. I didn't do anything to this and the STIG did not mod anything here. Look at how smooth the suspension is, man. This is pretty nice. Look at that. Really nice. The shocks are fluid, they're nice. You don't need any extra dampening. I think this is perfectly well damped. You don't know how many times I've bought a traxxas where the shocks needed to be completely rebuilt from the factory. Right over here we see the 3000 kV red brushless motor. It is a regular 3650 size can. It looks like it could almost be a 3660, but it does say 3650. But that is normal. This is not a particularly heavy RC. The way the battery is mounted, I will show you guys right now. Basically just goes on top like this. You have this battery holding strap on top and you secure it with two body clips. As long as you have the size and specs of the battery that you want to put in here and it fits, you'll have absolutely no problem. Worst case scenario, you could always run a Velcro strap, which is what most people do. On the front here, you have a metal shock tower brace that is nice. The shocks are solid-bodied aluminum and they're threaded. Pretty nice. I always love seeing that. No preload here. Pretty good. The whole drivetrain has metal dog bones throughout. Looks like it's fairly beefy, to be honest with you also. In terms of, let's see what I could find that is weird. Let's check out the steering servo. This is a 15 kilogram waterproof servo. Let's see how fast it steers with the wheels as they are right now. Man, that is not bad at all, right? This thing steers pretty well. that is honestly very quick. It has this really weird kind of overhead steering setup right here. As I move it, you could see the whole thing basically moves in and out. It has a giant spring type servo saver on the actual servo right here. That probably in itself is the result of a lot of this slop. But you know what, for a low-end RC, you want to have some slop, because when you crash into anything, and I'm sure the way the Stig drives this thing, man, he probably crashes it all the time because he's not used to RCs. This is his first one. Let's give it some gas. This is, once again, only a 2S. Let's see what it's got. Not bad. I mean, I gotta say, this thing moves. The wheels on this, honestly, I gotta say, are extremely soft. They seem really well kind of foamed out on the inside. They don't look like they're gonna balloon that much. When I pegged this thing full throttle just now, it did balloon a little bit, but it's gonna be interesting to see when I put in a 3S into here how big the tires are gonna get. But I do like the design of the rim itself. It's actually really, really good looking. Unfortunately, I can't take off this wheel nut right here because the Stig just doesn't have even any RC tools. I told him to order some up, but you know what? He's a little bit on the late side. He spent all his money on the sausage that he's cooking. Now let's go outside. We're gonna do a little bit of running, maybe take a little bit of jumps. Gonna drive it in some pretty tall grass, see how this thing does. Okay guys, you saw that. Stig just drove this thing around a little bit. He really, really likes it. He told me that this thing handles exceptionally well. Of course, not as good as his motorcycle, but you know, for an RC, for his first one, he got used to it fairly quick. He said the handling was pretty good, it was predictable. The steering slop in the front, he told me he crashed it a couple times and nothing broke at all, so pretty surprising there. But with a 3S LiPo, I am quite sure this thing will be extremely solid and reliable, and it will liven this thing up really well. For the low $200 price range, this thing does what it has to do. It has everything you need other than, you know, a really good battery. But it has a battery. You can have a good time with it. Overall, nothing broke, and this thing is actually fairly solid. Redcat Racing has been doing a fairly good job recently, competing with a lot of these other brand name manufacturers that are just, you know, enormous prices. But they have certainly done their job with this RC. There's really nothing bad I can find here. A lot of this negative where you have the soft plastics and the steering slop. Overall, that is what you want for a beginner. And for the Stig, this is a perfect RC truck, and he's very happy with it. There it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. If you want to see anything else on this particular truck, let me know.